you we've got a treat for you
Oh, yes,
today.
we do.
It's not going to be us today.
No, we worked with Paul and Charisse.
Yes.
Super couple. We
Yes.
worked with SYMBIS with them. And
Yeah.
so,
You may not know what SYMBIS is. Save Your Marriage Before It Starts, an
right.
online assessment.
Yes.
We don't want to take up a lot of time
No.
here. We just want to say if you ever want to know what a couple thinks about SYMBIS, someone that
Yes.
actually did it, today is your chance. If you know someone that needs SYMBIS, today is your chance to share this message with them.
Exactly.
Wonderful couple. They did the work, and
Yes.
boy, are they enjoying the
Yes.
perk.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy.
Well, great to have you guys. We have Sharice and Paul here at a Change Church Marriage Conference. We're so excited to have you guys. So excited to get to know you all. We conducted SIPUS with you all most recently. Save Your Marriage Board starts. And we just like to kind of understand your experience with it, from start to finish and anything in between that you'd like to share with us. You'd be greatly appreciated.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll get started. I thought that our experience with SYMBIS was very thorough. It allowed us to get to a lot of the root to be able to better understand one another so that when conflict happens, because that will happen, we're recognizing that, oh, this is the person that's trying to hurt me, but this is some baggage that this person might be having from past wounds, childhood, and to understand that they're still working through those issues as well.
Is I would say the Simmons is really helpful because they clarified us to where we weren't that far off that we thought we were, and that communication is very important and the key, and it keeps you on track.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think one of the coolest things about y'all's relationship is that you're not newlyweds and you still did some us. And when you came in, share a little bit about where your marriage was at. Speak to that couple that maybe where you were at. So if whatever you feel comfortable with, share with where you were at.
Well, I was 1 foot out the door. I felt that the marriage was over, and reaching out to you guys was really a lifeline of me just saying, hey, I'm throwing up my little white flag. I don't have anything else. I don't have anything left in the tank. Let's give this a whirl and see what happens.
Um, I was at the point where I was devastated, where I thought that I lost the love of my life, and I lost my best friend and her family, and I was that like it was done, it was over with. There was nothing I could do to fix it.
And so just so people know, had divorce come up,
It had.
had you seen an attorney or
We hadn't seen an attorney, but I was heavily thinking about what is the exit strategy here.
and at what year of marriage was that?
Year 19.
And what year are we at now? 20. So So in the SYMBIS process, doing the SYMBIS itself, like taking the actual test online, share just a quick bit about that.
Like taking the test online, it made you like answer some questions that made you think about them really, and where you were at, what you wanted in your marriage, and why did you want the marriage.
Yeah.
I think for me, went into taking this sim as a little stress. I'm like, oh God, they're gonna ask me a bazillion and one question. This is gonna take forever. And in fact, it didn't take that long at all. Um, and I was able to answer really clearly and directly. There were no trick questions or anything like that that would confuse me or whatnot. So I thought that part was the easiest part.
Yeah. When you came into SYMBIS, when we started coaching with you, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put your relationship? As far as 1 being like under 10 being we're not surviving, we're thriving. No, we're not perfect. No.
I was at a 1.
You were at, where were you, Carl?
I was at probably a 3 with maybe a last hope of maybe there's something to save here.
And so today, what remote can you get you leadership?
I was seeing 8.
I'm at a 10. I'm seeing hopeful.
So, what do you get that to? Because you've had they come from a 1 and a 3 to a 10 and an 8. So speak to that couple that maybe at that 1 through, let's just average it out at 2. Where would you What would you say is big false you?
I would say this easy peasy. Put in the work so you can get the perk.
Hey, that's Ed. Put God first. To trust Him, and it's not gonna be easy. But if you really want it, if it's in your heart, it can work.
I would say we put in a lot of work, of like you said, putting God first at the center of the marriage. Also taking time to listen, to be able to communicate, being very, very intentional. I think that was the key thing is that we were intentional of showing up to our sessions, doing the homework, listening to each other's responses, um, and then taking action so that we could move forward week to week.
This, I would say actually for men of it is the listening part. And sometimes you're going to hear things that you don't want to hear, but you need to hear. As it makes you grow. It makes you listen and you're seeing from her perspective and she gets to see from your perspective. And then that really helps. And I love the dynamic of both of y'all because we get male and female perspective.
Yeah. I think it's important for men to connect with men during the process of this. I remember one specific session with y'all, and if you'd like to share it, that would be fine if you don't fully understand. It was a hard session. We ended on a hard note, and if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm not, you were pretty defeated at the end. And the words I remember hearing you say was something along the lines of, "This is just so hard. I just don't know if it's, I feel like I take 4 steps forward and 10 steps back." Can you address that at all?
I remember that session, and I walked away feeling like redefining selfishness of I thought that I was like the victim here and recognizing that, oh, I've been more selfish than I thought. And that was just really, really defeating of how do I move on for this? Because I've been this way all this time. And I'm like, I don't like, I thought I was the victim here. I thought I was the one that was being wronged and being able to hear things and see it from his perspective, recognizing that I was the selfish one.
Yeah. We were so proud of y'all for walking through that. Yeah. How did that?
Like that experience, like I wasn't sure if she wanted to continue after that because you could see it really bothered her, really hurt her. And hearing the words of this is so hard. And like, it's like, okay, well, we gonna have to push through this hard. It's gonna be hard. We have to keep moving forward. But still leaning on God, trusting God, and we made it to the next session. And I was like, okay, and I'm like, all right, well, let's keep pushing forward.
We were so proud of y'all for that because marriage work isn't always warm and fuzzy, especially when you're fighting for 19 years. Maybe not doing as all God's way, right? Maybe fighting 19 years of putting those hopes and pains down and trying to believe there is a new marriage in store for you.
You know, Teresa Pop could speak to the couple that is so busy. I mean, we're all busy. We have busy lives. We have so much time in a day. And you have gained so much wisdom and discernment from the Lord from this past year or whatever. I mean, about 20 wonderful years of marriage. And so how do you speak? What do you say to the couple that will say, okay, they're so busy. But yet I've got this tools and skills that I want to implement. What does it look? How do I do that? How do I put it into action?
I got that one. Can we do it? Yes, we can. First, we got to make a plan. It's all about you can do it. It's making the plan, getting out your calendars, getting out your phone, and finding time where we can do this. And also realizing that you don't have to be married to that time. One of the things that we recently noticed was some of the things that we put on our calendar, like, oh, Tuesdays are bad nights for us. Let's switch this to another night. And being like, what does your calendar look like? What does his calendar look like? And just making the time for it. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. If all you got is bite-sized moments of time, take the bite-sized moments of time and you'll start to see the fruit of that. And you'll want to expound upon it. Like, okay, we only had a half hour before. Let's stretch it to 45 minutes. Let's stretch it to 60 minutes. And you'll eventually grow into that.
Yes. I think it's where is your priorities? What is important to you?
Yes.
And family, your wife, your kids, it's always more important than your job, the work. You can always make money. You you can always make money, but your wife, your kids are more important. That's how God wants it. This is your number one priority. So you have to make that your priority. And sometimes you got to say no. And it might be an opportunity, but another one will come along.
I will say that's been the hardest thing for me because I am the busier one. Of making sure I block off that those things, those times on my calendar, setting firm boundaries, but also because there's some things where you can't shift or whatnot, letting people know why you're shifting it. Like if you're responsible for something else or for someone else, whether it be a job or something else, letting them know like, hey, in this season, I'm going to be less available. Here's the reason why. And I think if you communicate that, people are like, oh, I get it. You're not blowing me off. You're not trying to not do what you're supposed to do. You're focusing on something else, and more people will cheer you on because of that. And that's what I had to do. I was like, hey, this is the time that I'm spending with my husband. And like quite often I would get a phone call afterwards, like, well, how was your time? Was that? How did that go? Like they were very intrigued of how that was going because they knew that that was a priority for me.
You please see
Yes.
you're doing what you want to do where the heart is, but at the same time, by speaking in, you're showing someone else, my marriage, my husband, my family is top priority. So we're going to do some redirecting here. And then it's interesting you say they would ask how your time is because that tells you right there, they're really curious about how does that work. So, and the process of y'all healing and your relationship and putting it first. And I think that's where we come from many times is couples aren't just, you don't have a bad marriage. We just lost priority. We lost each other. And you nailed it at the beginning, Paul. You said communication. That as throughout this, I hear we started communicate. We started getting our calendars together. We started talking about, we started sharing, we started listening during, because communication's two ways. It's not just speaking, it's also that listening. Not hearing, but listening. And so would you just, as we close out, don't want to keep getting longer, we got a great conference to go to. Would you just speak to the couple that's on the line right now? I don't want to pay for anything. I don't want to put the investment in because you did pay and then you showed up every time. You worked hard. You did everything we asked you to do, homework, everything. You came in and we know it was a struggle. You came in, you did it. And we had the privilege of watching you thrive here at this conference. And then you stick to that couple that may not want to put any money into their marriage. And they say, well, we're okay, not as bad as so.
I would say this, and it's very, very blunt of, so you'd rather pay to end your marriage versus save your marriage because your divorce is going to cost. It's going to cost you. So would you rather, and it's going to cost more than the cost of this SYMBIS and working with you guys. So you're going to pay either way. Would you rather pay to save your marriage or would you rather pay to end it?
Right. Because when they end it, there's more than just denying it.
There's just,
Yeah.
and you're paying, not only that, you're paying emotionally. Your family's paying for and it's a lifetime of payment. That's what I feel like. It's like, just because you're divorced, that doesn't mean that's the last payment that you'll ever make. You'll have to make that payment on reminders of anniversaries, of holidays, of what your life would have been like. So it's a continuous payment. It's like you made that down payment when you paid for the attorney or whatnot, but then you're paying for the rest of your life. You're paying if you meet someone new and there's the baggage that you bring in from the past hurts, you're going to continue paying for it. So wouldn't you rather pay an investment to move your marriage forward versus to end it?
Yeah, you're good.
I agree with that, but I mean, to me, it's you fell in love for a reason, and there's something there that's worth saving. You might have lost sight of it. You might need help to get back to it, but investing in your marriage and in your family is more rewarding than having to start all over again. Like you said, you're going to pay either way. And I'd rather pay for something that's not going to benefit me, her, but our children, our family. They get to see what marriage is. They get to see what it represents, the good times, the bad times, the ugly times. You can get through. Gotta have God at the center that you can get through it.
I think that's important what you said about the cost that we're paying. We're teaching our children, our daughters, how to stay committed, how to work through the hard. Not only that, but ending the generational patterns of marriages and families ending on both sides of our families. Like it stops with us.
That's right. Amen. Well, as we close up, Teresa, Paul, thanks so much for taking these moments with us, and thanks so much for joining us in the journey of SYMBIS. We learned as you all learned just as much, and so we'd like for you to finish this statement. If you don't do the work,
You don't get the perk.
Hello, how
We're
are you doing?
back.
Yes, we are back. Now that you've heard Paul and Teresa's experience,
Yeah, what do you want to do with it? Well, we
Yeah.
want to say, if that blessed you, if you liked it, please hit that like button, hit subscribe, share this with any couple you know that may be on the fence about SYMBIS. If you got questions, we are here to answer those questions. DM us, go to heartbuilder.org, get registered for SYMBIS. We are ready to roll. It is an exciting experience, and we just love this couple to death. They really showed up every session, and their marriage, we got to interview them at a marriage conference. So they're continuing to do the work.
right.
That's all we got for you today. Have a good one.
remember, you say I do.
Oh, we help you stay, I do.